Hello everyone. Welcome back once again in your biology class. This is Nausin and you are watching Educational Support. If you like this video, then press a subscribe button and the bell icon right next to it. So please watching till the end of my video. Today, I gonna teach something important topic to you, that is human respiratory system, mainly lower respiratory system. In my previous video, I was sharing upper respiratory system in human. What is the respiratory tract and what does the upper respiratory tract consist of? If anyone missed my previous video, that was upper respiratory system, then visit my channel Educational Support and link of my previous video are given in my description box below. So go for it and subscribe my channel. Here I am presenting parts of the lower respiratory system. Do you know what are the parts of the lower respiratory system? The lower tract includes the lower part of the larynx, the trachea, diaphragm, lungs, bronchi, bronchioles, and the alveoli capillary. So here I am presenting voice box, that is larynx. The larynx, commonly called the voice box, is an organ in the top of the neck involved in breathing, producing sound and protecting the trachea against food aspiration. The larynx houses the vocal folds and manipulates speech and volume, which is essential for phonation. Here I am showing the location of the larynx. It is situated just below where the tract of the pharynx splits into trachea and the esophagus. It connects the inferior part of the pharynx, that means hypopharynx, with the trachea. Here I am presenting what are the unpaired and paired cartilages in the larynx. The laryngeal skeleton consists of 6 cartilages. 3 unpaired cartilages, that are thyroid cartilages, cricoid cartilages, and epiglottis cartilages. And the 3 paired cartilages, that are athenoid cartilages, corniculate, and cuneiform cartilages. Do you have any idea why is the larynx made up of cartilage? The larynx is the most important part of the respiratory tract in the neck and the voice box of the human body. It surrounds and protects the vocal cords as well as the entrance to the trachea, preventing food particles or fluids from entering the lungs. The cartilages of the larynx make up its skeleton. So that's why the larynx is made up of cartilage. Do you have what is the largest cartilage of the larynx? That means thyroid cartilages. The thyroid cartilages is the largest cartilage of the larynx and is composed of hyaline cartilage. It sits beneath the hyoid bone to which it connects by the thigh-hyoidomembrane. So next is unpaired cartilages. Unpaired cartilages are thyroid cartilages. So thyroid cartilages, this forms at the Adam's apple. It is usually larger in males than in females. The thyroid membrane is a ligament associated with the thyroid cartilages that connects the thyroid cartilage with the hyoid bone. It supports the front portion of the larynx. Next is cricoid cartilages. So cricoid cartilages is a ring of hyaline cartilage that forms the inferior wall of the larynx. It is attached to the top of the trachea. The median cricothyroid ligament connects the cricoid cartilage to the thyroid cartilage. Next is epiglottis. The epiglottis is a flap of tissue that guards the entrance to your trachea. During swallowing, the pharynx and larynx rise. Elevation of the pharynx widens it to receive food and drink, and elevation of the larynx causes the epiglottis to move down and form a lid over the glottis, closing it off. Next, I am presenting paired cartilages, that are arytenoid cartilages. So, arytenoid cartilages, one of the paired cartilages, are the most important because they influence the position and tension of the vocal folds. These are triangular pieces of mostly hyaline cartilages located at the posterior superior border of the cricoid cartilages. Next is corniculate cartilages. So, corniculate cartilages are horn-shaped pieces of elastic cartilages located at the apex of each arytenoid cartilages. Number 3 is cuneiform cartilages. So, curved-shaped pieces of elastic cartilage located anterior to the corniculate cartilages. So, viewers, if you enjoyed this video or learned anything, then press a like button and don't forget to subscribe. Next is trachea. So, the trachea, commonly known as the windpipe, is a tube about 4 inches long and less than an inch in diameter in most people. The trachea begins just under the larynx, that means voice box, and runs down behind the breastbone, that means sternum. The trachea then divides into 2 smaller tubes, that means bronchi, and 1 bronchus for each lung. So here I am showing bronchi and bronchioles. The bronchi attached and divides into left and right bronchi, and bronchioles, each bronchiole is further divided into finer channels known as bronchioles. Next is diaphragm. The diaphragm is the strong wall of muscle that separates your chest cavity from your abdominal cavity. By moving downward, it creates suction to draw in air and expands the lungs. Next, I am presenting lungs. The lungs are a pair of spongy, air-filled organs located on either side of the chest, that means thorax. Humans have two lungs, a right lung and a left lung. The right lung is bigger than the left, which shares space in the chest with the heart. The lungs are part of the lower respiratory tract that begins at the trachea and branches into the bronchi and bronchioles, and which receive air breathed in via the conducting zone. Next is covering of the lungs. So each lung is enclosed within a pleural sac that contains pleural fluid, which allows the inner and outer walls to slide over each other without much friction. And this sac also divides each lung into sections called lobules. So the right lung has 3 lobules and the left has 2. Here I am showing the respiratory 3 divisions. The lobes are further divided into bronchopulmonary segments and pulmonary lobules. The lungs have a unique blood supply, receiving deoxygenated blood from the heart in the pulmonary circulation for the purposes of receiving oxygen and releasing carbon dioxide, and a separate supply of oxygenated blood to the tissues of the lungs in the bronchial circulation. This picture represents the respiratory 3 divisions. Next is structure of the pleura. There are 2 pleural in the body, one associated with each lung. They consist of a serous membrane, a layer of simple squamous cells supported by connective tissues, and this simple squamous epithelial layer is also known as the mesothelium. So each pleura can be divided into 2 parts, parietal pleura and visceral pleura. Now is a parietal pleura. So parietal pleura covers the internal surface of the thoracic cavity. It is thicker than the visceral pleura and can be subdivided according to the parts of the body that is contact with mediastinal pleura, cervical pleura, costal pleura, and the last one is diaphragmatic pleura. So first is mediastinal pleura. Mediastinal pleura that covers the lateral aspects of the mediastinum, the central component of the thoracic cavity, and containing a number of organs. Number 2 is cervical pleura. So cervical pleura that lines the extension of the pleural cavity into the neck. Number 3 is costal flora. So costal flora that covers the inner aspects of the ribs, costal cartilages and intercostal muscles. Number 4 is diaphragmatic flora that covers the thoracic surface of the diaphragm. So next I am presenting visceral flora. The visceral flora covers the outer surface of the lung and extends into the interlobular spaces, and it is continuous with the parietal flora at the ileum of each lung. This is where structures enter and leave the lung. So next I am presenting pleural cavity. The pleural cavity is a potential space between the parietal flora and the visceral flora. So it contains a small volume of serous fluid which has two major functions. Number 1 is it lubricates the surface of the pleura, allowing them to slide over each other. And number 2 is the serous fluid also produces a surface tension, pulling the parietal and visceral flora together. This ensures that when the thorax expands, the lung also expands, filling with air. Alright, that's gonna do it for lower respiratory system in human. In my next video, I will going to sharing about more related topics. If you like the video, please hit the like button. If you want to see more videos, hit the subscribe button. And if you have something to say, please leave a comment. To know more about the biology topic, then keep visiting educational support. Thank you for watching and see you in the next video. Bye-bye.